This is Mitch, and welcome to the Real Estate Investor Summit podcast. I'm here with Patrick Martin, but we'll just call him Coach Pat because he got the name a long time ago, kind of stuck. He was coaching wrestling and soccer with the kids, and he's just been known as Coach Pat for, I don't know, since we can remember. So, Coach Pat, how you doing today?
Mitch, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Well, you know, I enjoyed being on your podcast the other day. And you're a very interesting person. We have a few people in common, interesting enough, kind of the people I've been trying to learn more from here in the past. You seem to have known for a long time. So, I don't know, we have a certain amount of stuff in common. But you're over in Ecuador, right? What's the name of that town?
Well, when it's the rainy season, we actually moved to the mountain city of Cuenca, and which we pretty much get sunshine every day. Like right now, it's beautiful and gorgeous. And then during the sunny season at the beach, we head back to the beach in a little town called Olon, O-L-O-N. It's a little surf community, and I like to surf. I like to scuba dive and jog on the beach and play soccer. I still compete and play on a couple of men's teams here, and I love it. It's a great lifestyle, man.
Well, so is this more for unplugging reasons, or is this more for tax reasons, or a little of both?
Well, it's for unplugging. My wife and I, about 3 years ago, we decided, we came here on vacation and fell in love with it and helped out at an orphanage, and now we have a foundation that we started that provides free medical services for the refugees, the Venezuelan refugees here, and also opening up a cafe and the proceeds of the cafe go towards the free services that we have. So we came down, and really God just spoke to our hearts and said, what kind of impact are we having in the States? Yeah, we're doing real estate. My wife is a holistic doctor of nutrition. And, you know, our kids are kind of going their way. We all have our cars. And, you know, God got a hold of our hearts and said, why don't you go there to make an impact? Because you're not making one up here. And so we sold everything, sold the Porsche, sold the BMW, sold everything, downsized to 2 suitcases, a backpack, a dive bag. And now we came down and we said, okay, God, what do you want us to do? So we do our businesses online and we give back. And so living life unplugged means for us being minimalist, not having all the stuff, because the stuff really had us. You know, the cars, the big homes, the swim pools, all that stuff had us. And, you know, we thought, well, we had it. But really, we live life unplugged, and that freedom to pick up and you're like, okay, hey, we're going to go to the beach and live at the beach here. We're going in another month. We'll be there for 3 months. And then we'll come back here to Cuenca. So it's being able to unplug at a moment's notice and go where we want to go, where we feel God's leading us, and being able to give back to those things we're passionate about.
A good friend of mine and mentor once said to me, the only thing money will do for you is allow you to be where you want to be when you want to be. That's all it'll really do for you.
Sure.
Let's talk about that, the unplugged life. And also, before I forget, is there a link or someplace someone can go if they want to donate to your cause?
Sure. We have a 501c3. It's called His Mission of Love. And you can find it at our website called themartinsunplugged.com. And there's a give tab there. And again, it's the Martins is plural, themartinsunplugged.com.
Okay, I'm writing it down because I'm going to repeat it. So it's themartinsunplugged.com, themartinsunplugged.com. Okay, so we'll address that. But if you guys want to help the Martins cause down there, then send a donation. It's a 503c. I'm sure they'll send you your paper so you can get your deduction. And it's His Mission of Love at themartinsunplugged.com. There you go. How's that?
Yeah, it's not His Mission Unplugged at themartinsunplugged.com. It's just themartinsunplugged.com, and go find the gift tab. And please, thank you. And
yeah. All right, so unplugging. A lot of people dream about that. What does it really take? How big is that decision just to go? And I'm going to guess you were set financially, or you were not set financially when you unplugged.
We're set financially to a certain degree. If we don't continue to market and stay in the business, then no, we're not set financially. We still, I still have to do my real estate, or I get to do my real estate, and we have passive streams of income. And eventually, those passive streams of income will dry up if I don't continue to farm the ground.
Yeah,
The
so
same thing for my wife.
that was my point. I wanted to point out. I mean, were you wealthy when you went there, and you're just living off of interest collections or whatever, or do you go there and you still have to function, which is the way I know most people go. Is they go. Besides that, if you did nothing, that would be kind of scary. What would we do, Coach Pat, if we didn't have any kind of business or any kind of game to play, the Monopoly game? I'm not sure we would do very well.
No, but we'd have to trade hours for dollars. We'd have to do something. Down here, to give you an idea, down here, I have my beachfront home was $875 a month. And that was a 4-bedroom, 5-bath home built 3 years ago, right on the Pacific Ocean. Right here, this is a luxury condo that we have with a doorman. This place was built about 5 years ago. I have a beautiful balcony here. I'm looking out at Inca ruins. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath condo for $575 a month. So yes, I have to work, but can I survive just on one house that I get up on the States for $2,500 a month? You bet. But for me, that's great to have rental income coming in for just one house. I have multiple homes. But could I survive just on one home? Yes, but I wouldn't be able to go and do the things that I want to do. Going out to the jungle, to the villages of the Warani and stay out there for a week or two. So having those passive income streams affords me to live that unplugged lifestyle.
Also probably helps in your efforts to do your giving back, to that community that you're in, that you're working with, because it's hard to take care of yourself if you're broke, much less help other people. So it goes a long way. What are you doing down there to help all these other folks?
Well, my wife and I, we actually have a business. My wife has an online superfood store. And so 100% of those proceeds, superfoods are wheatgrass, alfalfa, spirulina, workout. She has a vegan protein that's clinically proven to build muscle without exercising. So 100% of those proceeds goes to our 501c3. And so from those proceeds, we're able to, I got a house down here, a foundation house. It's called Grace, Casa Grace, which means giving refugees a chance. And today, my flooring will be completely put in. That's ceramic tile. And we have, I'm raising money now for a kitchen, a little commercial kitchen. And the kitchen area, all that's been, to put a window in to pass the plates through. So that we renovated. It's only $450 a month on the rent, but it's a big 2-story, beautiful edifice. And on the garage side, which I've got to get a garage door opener, which they don't have down here. I've got to get one shipped in from the States. And that garage area will be our clothing area. And then walking through there, I have a staging area with hot showers and fresh clothes and so forth. And then upstairs is our dental office. And we have 2 medical offices, one for children and one for adults. And we also have a pharmacy. This is all gratis. This is for anybody. We won't turn anybody away. So I'm there at almost every day at the Castle Grace or Casa Grace. And right now we're almost done with the renovations, and we should have our opening in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, our doctors and dentists they're going to making house calls because we can't really have people in the facility right now while we're trying to lay tile and paint and all that other stuff.
Thanks. Well, I was listening. I was tuned in. I had to get my power plugged in because it told me we were going to go dead here, and I hadn't plugged in. So, so you're really serious about this. I mean, you got a team of people. It sounds like it's not just you by yourself, and you got some momentum going. People are helping you.
Yes, sir.
You've been a giver your whole life. I mean, I know coaches don't get paid all that well, and they work their ass off. You know what I mean? But they do it for a love or a passion. How blessed are people that know what their passion is and are in the middle of it?
Oh, come on, Mitch. You know this, better than probably anybody. There's a Bible verse, and Mitch, it says, it's better to give than to receive. And yeah, it's great when somebody brings you a good receiver. But you know what? You have to be an excellent receiver, but I think you also have to be an excellent giver as well. And when you see somebody that has a need, like I got little ones. We got little guys, from little babies to, little guys that I get to kick the ball around with and put food in front of their face, little bowls of soup and bread and sandwiches. And I get to serve them. I actually get to bring the plate to them, and I get to sit down and talk with these little guys in Spanish and just love on them. And I'm telling you what, Mitch, when we've done, you've done 2,000 plus deals. And yeah, the first deals that you start, make a profit, you flip it, everything goes. I've had some multiple six-figure flips, and those are great deals. But I'm telling you what, when it's all said and done, the greatest joy I have is when I get to, when God's blessed us with the finances to give back, and I get to actually sit down with some people and make an impact. One of my guys that I was feeding him and his family and giving them some food, some soup and sandwiches and juice and bananas. And his name is Saul, and Saul in English, but Saul. Mitch, this guy probably weighed about $120, 120 pounds, and it looked like his arms were like really skinny, his eyes were sunken in, and escaping Venezuela with his clothes on his back, 2 kids and a wife. This young guy, he's like 26, 27 years old. Mitch, the guy, you take somebody that's dropped 25, 30 pounds, and he's looking terrible. And here, my wife, we was able to get the mom baby formula. And I was able to take Saul out on the soccer field, on the La Cancha, and play some indoor soccer with. He didn't have the $2 to pay for playing soccer. And here I get to go out and I stay in shape. I play 2 or 3 times a week. And Mitch, it's like taking somebody hunting for the first time, and they get that first kill, and they're just overjoyed. I'm taking Saul out for $2 to kick the ball around, to do something he's passionate about and he loves to play. Soccer, football down here, it's a religion, and they love to play. And so, yeah, we can do deals, but what's the purpose of doing business? The purpose for me is, we can make a bunch of money, but if we don't give back, if I don't take the opportunity to give back, then, I can be sitting in Florida on the beach, sipping Mai Tais, whatever it is, and doing nothing and just being greedy. For me, I don't think that's why God put us here and put you here, Mitch.
Yeah, well, very well said. You actually are inspiring probably a lot of people. You're inspiring me. You always got to there's got to be a higher reason after a while. Money's not enough. Money's just money. And I know when you don't have money, it's cliche. Money doesn't buy happiness or whatever. And I know that's cliche. And you got to really address that. If you don't have enough money, then you need to address that and get a handle on it. But if you're fortunate enough to go out and get like way more than you ever needed or expected, then you'll find out really soon that more of it doesn't do that much. It's not exponential. It doesn't do that much more for you. And there's other things to do or other rewards. I'm coaching probably for the same reason you coach. I want to be on a winning team and help some people change, their outlook on life or the way life is happening. And so consequently, I everyone very hard to figure out if I want them on the team or not, because it's too easy to get on a losing team. I'm trying to find someone that I can really help cross over the mountain. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take on to someone that I'm going to have to carry back down the mountain. I mean, but I don't want to get halfway up and have to carry them down. I want to find someone that we can get over the top and get where we're supposed to go, And so,
you bet.
And I'm sorry, what's your wife's name again?
My wife is Doreen.
Doreen. And
Doreen.
Is she there today?
She is not. And forgive me, she had, we also manage, and so, we love doing business. And so my daughter and her, they are taking care of, our Airbnb, which is in our same building. And we had somebody that got it booked. And so
how challenging is it sometimes to do business from these places? I mean, is the internet a challenge, or do you just have good internet there?
Here in Cuenca, we have fiber optic. It's high speed and it's the best. It's even better in the States. But out at the beach is very, very challenging. Our internet is cable, and we have a saying, tranquilo, gringo. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then we have to not get upset and like, oh my God, I'm going to lose sales. It's, oh, I missed this. It's, hey, we've learned the flow, and there must be a reason. If the internet goes out or the power goes out for an afternoon or for a day or whenever in the middle of a meeting or a webinar or whatever we're doing, we just flow, because really it's out of our control. But what's not out of our control is how we respond to it. And if we make the best of it instead of the worst of it, I think that's the key.
So what did you say? Tranquilo, gringo?
Tranquilo. In other words, hey, gringo, relax. It's going to be fine.
I know. So yeah. I wrote a song. I mean, I've been a songwriter for like 40 years. I'm going to get good at it any day. But apparently in 2005, which is almost too long to talk about, I wrote a song called Hey, David, Who's That Gringo? And it won crossover song of the year. And I think the main reason it was because all the Hispanos could use the word gringo, which is politically or, incorrect, right? I mean, you're not really, it's kind of a dirty word, or, but they could use it because it was in the song, and it was in the chorus. And so they could sing gringo all they wanted to. And so when you said tranquilo gringo, I thought, well, there's another song just waiting to happen right there.
Yeah, tranquilo gringo. Well, Mitch, down here, gringo's not a bad word. We even have, in Cuenca, they even have Gringolandia. We've got 25,000 expats that are here. So it's, down here, it's not offensive.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Are the expats, do you mingle pretty much with the expats? Or are you really just kind of in among the native people?
I tell you what, lots of the expats here are financial refugees. And so they drink a lot of beer, cheap beer, and they gossip, chisme. And so it's cerveza and chisme. And you know what? I don't like to hang out with that crowd. And they're older. They don't go to the gym. They're not on the soccer field. And for me, I use that as a ministry. The C-level professional team here, the owner's a friend of mine. We play together. And when they're in season, in session, I actually go to the game and I get to pray with the guys beforehand. And it's a simple, short prayer, but I'll give them a scripture like, do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but only one receives a prize? Run in such a way that you might win. The Apostle Paul wrote that. Maybe someplace in Corinthians. I don't know where it is. But
are you a minister by any chance?
Yeah, I've been a pastor for 30 some years. My last church that I was employed with, and I've been unemployable for over 20 years. But the last church right about 18 years. I don't want to lie here. So 18 years ago, I was no longer employable. And have you ever heard of Bishop T.D. Jakes up in Dallas?
Yeah, I have.
I was one of his pastors. I was the street pastor of the homeless there for 8 years. And been, youth pastor before that, and pastored my own church after that. And
so how many, I don't want anyone to take this question wrong, but we can help everybody, no matter how dysfunctional someone is. We can always help them. But my questions, and take it in the right way. How many of those people? What's the percentage of people that you can really help get back on their feet and get going, and the ones that are just going to need help forever?
Well, the better
How can I
question.
say that? What's the better way to say that question? I don't like the way it sounded came out, but you
No,
know,
I'm
because there's people you can help transition and get up and get on their feet and get the wind under their wings and they can go sail again, you know. But a lot of the homeless, at least the ones I witnessed, they have mental disorders that I don't know can be fixed at all, and they just need to be taken care of by the grace of God and by the grace of the people around them. So
Well, here's a better question, Mitch. How many of them want to get off the streets?
okay,
And if they don't want to get off the streets, then our goal and desire for them is not their goal and desire.
that was
And
really what
some
I was
of them,
trying to say. How many people are just stuck there for temporary and you can help them get out, and how many are just going to need help every day, or
uh,
get off the street?
I would say over 50% of them, in my experience, they're okay. They don't mind staying on the streets. They want to live there because they don't they don't have any responsibilities other than to take care of themselves. It's kind of selfish. They can do a little bit, do some drugs. Hold a sign, and it's called hanging a sign, so they can get some donations. People giving them money on the streets, so they can go get a pack of smokes and get a beer, get some wine, get a bottle of tequila or whatever, and they can crash. They've got their favorite places under a bridge, a loading dock, even up into the big billboard signs that are up. One of my guys he figured out a way he could climb up there, and he called his condo in the sky, and it was safe. Nobody bothered him, and he slept up in that area, and it was protected, and nobody saw him up there. And it's one way. If the weather's nice, I call it being a Boy Scout. They can go out and be a Boy Scout and live outside and survive outside, and they have zero responsibilities, nothing. They don't have a job.
You know how many
People can come. Yeah, people can come and give them clothes, give them food. So they know where they can take showers and so forth, and they can get by. And it might be for a season, and for others, it might be just temporary. But a lot of them do have the mental issues and so forth. So you help the ones you can, and the guy today that may not be ready, he might be ready 6 months down the road. So yeah, I was able to help guys get to the place to get ready to transition, to get off the streets and into their own apartment, or in getting a job. So I helped a lot of guys get jobs. And not just with at the church, we had a beauty shop and a barber shop, hot showers, hot food, good food. I got Starbucks to sponsor me in the morning, and then we prepared a nice, beautiful chicken or Cornish game hens and cornbread and good stuff. I hated that the church administration would tell me, "Hey, here's some bologna and some white bread, and make them some sandwiches," and tell me, "God bless you." While on the other side of the church, they had a cafeteria serving amazing food. And I'm like, no. So I raised the money to serve an amazing breakfast and Starbucks and an amazing lunch. And then I still took the sack lunch that the church gave me, and I gave that to them to take it back with them.
Yeah, well, there you go. Who are some of your biggest donors, or do you have any big donors?
I don't.
Mostly, it sounds like you're kind of bootstrapping it because you actually started a restaurant just so you could fund some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's called Cielo di Cafe, or a cup of heaven. And the cafe, we're not even up and running. My daughter, Hannah, managed a cafe in the surf town for 2 years while we lived out at the beach. And so she's got some amazing recipes and so forth. And so my daughter, Hannah, she's going to head up the little cafe. We're going to serve breakfast and lunch, and probably close it at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the proceeds from the restaurant will go to help fund the free services.
Will any of the homeless people help you there?
Oh, absolutely. I've got guys that are helping me right now. I'm paying one guy, a day's wage down here is $15 a day. So I'm paying a guy $20 a day, and he's painting for me and helping out. I do have other guys that come and volunteer, but I feel like if they volunteer, I need to feed them. I got to I got to do something to help them.
So what kind of deals are you doing how are you making a living from afar?
Um, a couple of things. I do have a real estate course, and I just finished it, and it's called Pre-Foreclosure Cash Cows. And so with that, it's very simple. We go and I find online, and I can do this from anywhere. I can do it from here in Ecuador, or at the beach in Florida, or in the mountains, Sandpoint, Idaho, at Schweitzer ski area. It doesn't matter where I'm, if I've got internet. Uh, and so I skip, trace, and track down homes that are vacant in pre-foreclosure, in which the homeowner basically, Mitch, has walked away, given up, and they're going to let the banks walk over the top of them without putting up a fight. They don't have the money to hire an attorney. And the process from when they quit paying on the mortgage for whatever reason, a divorce or health issues or whatever, it's months and sometimes years if they don't do a thing. Or if they don't hire an attorney to jam up the foreclosure process or negotiate on their behalf. So we find these vacant properties, put them under contract, and our contract, my $10 binder fee, in most cases, in California, it's $100. My $10 binder fee in my contract gives me equitable interest in the property, so I don't have to be a realtor or mortgage or a broker to be able to manage the property and put a tenant in that property. And so we create a passive income stream, full disclaimers and disclosures. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice. And we disclose to the tenant that we're doing foreclosure defense, and we give them a deal, not on the price of the rental. I can actually get a little bit more, but I let them in for first and last. So they don't have to have first, last, and security up front to get in. And we basically jam up the foreclosure process for years. And the benefit to that tenant, if the tenant's the lucky one that is in the house when the property is lost to the foreclosure auction one day, then the bank is going to pay them cash for keys. And as a rule of thumb, they can get equivalent to first class in security. So if they're renting the house out for $2,000 a month, as a rule of thumb, the bank will give them about $6,000, $6,000, maybe a little bit more, and 90 days rent free. Now, the benefit to the homeowner is we profit share with the homeowner. We can't take advantage of the homeowner. The homeowner can never be out a dime, one pocket. So morally, legally, and ethically, we can put some cash in the homeowner's pocket over thousands of dollars over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We can provide a good deal for the tenant. We can also make a passive income stream as well. And we're cleaning up the property and maintaining the property so it benefits the neighborhood. And I don't feel bad about the banks, Mitch, because the banks have been made whole. They've cashed in on private mortgage insurance. And for every mortgage that's put into a trust, which is put into another trust, each one of those trusts have what's called credit default insurance. So the bank has been made whole 2 or 3 times before they foreclose and take the property and then sell the property and make even another profit.
Wow,
so I don't feel bad.
Different layers of trust in the insured, double and triple insurance. Very good point. So you have a giveaway. You have a video series on how to unplug, de-stress, and live your wildest dreams.
Your wildest dreams.
I want you to go to REinvestorSummit.com/unplugged. That's UNPLUGGED, unplugged. And I want you to go there. Also, if you go to REinvestorSummit.com/unplugged, you can learn about the courses, this course that Coach Pat's talking about. And, it just goes to show how many niches there is. Again, I haven't quite heard of this niche, but, I used to be surprised, but now I'm not surprised because there are so many different angles in the creative real estate investing world. And why go and have to learn that angle all by yourself? You got Coach Pat here has been doing it, kind of worked out the kinks, knows how to do it, is doing it from afar, for heaven's sake, you know, literally for heaven's sake. And so I want you to go to reinvestorsummit.com/unplugged and get your video and check out these courses. Also check out his podcast, The Martins Unplugged. Hey, the man is consistent. For a long time, he's been consistent. The Martins Unplugged. Go check out the podcast. I was on it last week. You might want to skip that version.
Oh, no, it was really good. and by the way, we're on Spotify. Spotify picked us up, and you'll hear our stories of living life unplugged.
Hey, so I sent you some music that I've written, some Christian music. I don't know if you had a chance to listen, but if you want to use any of that stuff, I give it to you for your cause. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Not that you might. Well, you have to like it first. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. But if you do like it, you gotta use for it. Use it. Well, my friend, I'd like to thank you for coming on. You're kind of making me dream a little bit, and I appreciate the fact that you took your time. And I hope people send you some donations to help with your cause.
Well, if they do, thank you very much. And Mitch, thank you for having me on. It was a joy and a pleasure. And thank you, sir.
All right. Well, this is Mitch Stephen with the Real Estate Investor Summit podcast. I'd like to thank my audience for stopping by to get you some Coach Patrick Martin. We missed his wife, Doreen, today, but we can probably catch her another time. Please, if you got a full heart and want to donate, go to themartinsunplugged.com and check under the little section there called His Mission of Love and give what you can. And I feel very strongly that this money will get where it's supposed to go. So that's one of the most important things when you're donating. This is Mitch Stephen. Thank you very much. Bye, Coach.
Thank you. Bye-bye.